Hi there, I'm Kande Hein, Director of Team Firefly, and today I'm going to be training on how to approach recruits. Now, I know many of you don't have problems in the closing conversations or having the conversations talking about the points of joining, but it's just that approach, the initial conversation, the initial approach to that potential recruit is where you kind of get tripped up. And so this training is specific to that for you. Now we're going to be talking about why dyeing your hair purple, as well as 3 other activities will really help you. Now I have lots of notes here, so you may notice me looking down from time to time, but I just want to make sure that I'm covering absolutely everything for you. Okay, so we're going to be talking about purple hair. We're also going to be talking about creating micro relationships, online connection, and hostess flipping. Now, actually, last year I sponsored 28, and just about every single one of these can fit into one of these categories. So I really tried to create a training that is speaking from experience so that I can help further provide some additional training or brainstorming with you, but really just provide an authentic, experiential training for you. Okay, so first we're going to talk about creating those micro relationships. Now, I call this creating micro relationships because it's almost a game for me whenever I go out into public. And really, this just kind of makes you a better person all around. So the first thing you want to do is focus on compliments. So everywhere you look, you want to try to figure out how you can compliment somebody, how you can truly make their day or maybe even their week. Maybe it's their haircut, it's a cute bag, it's some great shoes, it's well-behaved children, it's the customer service that they provide, whatever it is. And as long as that is a really genuine compliment, then not only is it going to make their day, but it's going to automatically let their guard down. And at that point, you can start creating that micro relationship with them. So I'm going to show you how that kind of might go. So say you're in a store and you're shopping and you see somebody that's got this really great bag. She looks like maybe she's a stay-at-home mom, maybe she kind of fits the profile of who you think might be in your team. And so you say, oh my gosh, I love your bag. And she says, thank you. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say something about yourself. Like, I've been really looking for a great new spring bag. Then you're going to ask her a question like, do you mind if I ask where you got it? I just love it so much. She's going to reply. She's going to say, yeah, I got it on sale at this place and I love it. It's really great for spring. And you say, oh my gosh, I really need to check that out. And then right before you step away, you say, oh, actually, I have some extra samples here. Let me get you one. And as you give it to her, she's going to reach out to it first, so she can't really say no. You're going to say, I'm a Scentsy consultant, and these are our washer whiffs. And I always like to give the washer whiffs because it gives me an extra 5 seconds ago or so to have this next vital piece of the conversation with her, because she knows what wax is and she's just going to say thanks and put it in her purse and walk away. But the whiffs, she may not know. She may not know what those little granules are, so she's probably going to give you a confused face or say, what are these? And at that point you're going to say something like, oh my gosh, have you not tried our washer whiffs? They are amazing, like life-changing. They are fantastic. And she's going to say, oh really? You say, yeah. You know what? Next month we have a new fragrance coming out and people are already just lining up in droves, pre-ordering this stuff. It's going to be so good. And she's going to say, oh really? And I'll say, yeah, actually, I've got some coming in the mail this next week. Let me get you some. Let me add you on Facebook real quick. And at that point, you want to already have your phone out. You want to have Facebook ready to go. And before she says no or has a chance, you're just going to say, let me add you real quick. And you're going to be right there. And it's the fastest way to get their contact information without feeling like you're being really intrusive, like, let me get your address and your name and the name of all your children, you don't want to feel like you're creepy. So you should make it's super casual. You're just adding on Facebook. You're going to get them some extra free samples. So it's a little incentive for them. Now, if at that point she's like, she hesitates for a moment, I always like to kind of reiterate the compliment. So I always kind of like to say, oh, where did you get that purse again? Oh, right, TJ Maxx. Okay, I totally need to check that out. Maybe I'll go this afternoon. Like you, I have some kids that I gotta go pick up at school. So it just kind of creates a little mini chat and say, oh, okay, I have Facebook up. So it was Jill. Jill, is this you? Yeah, okay, all right, good to meet you, Jill. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day and enjoy those washer whiffs. So can't wait to get you this new fragrance next week. So that's kind of a long, drawn out way to explain kind of exactly how I have that conversation, because I know it can feel really intimidating, but a couple of things help. One is having that compliment get you in the door, which is kind of the most awkward part and the most scary part. And then having the sample gives you the exit strategy, which tends to be the most awkward part. So if you can get over the being scared and feeling awkward, then you're going to have a much better chance of creating a relationship. And the idea of getting them on Facebook is then at that point, you also are starting to create a relationship with them. But then they start seeing your consistent Facebook post that integrate your business. So even if they are thinking about hosting or joining or buying at that moment, you may now be top of mind for them when they are thinking about it. This happened to me last week. I've been a friend with someone in New Zealand now for about 8 months, and she's been seeing my post, and she just messaged me yesterday saying, okay, I've been seeing your post, I've not responded to your messages, but I've been watching, and now I'm ready to do it. So you just never know who might be watching. So this is a really great strategy. Okay, and you can do this micro relationships anywhere you go. Really, the complimenting and having the samples prepared and on you are key. Okay, next we're going to be talking about creating an online connection. Okay, so many of those that I sponsored last year are overseas. I hadn't met any of these friends in person, and a lot of my recruits that I haven't, and that's because I am creating relationships with them online, and that's really easy to do. It just comes down to being kind and gracious and liking and commenting and sharing information that might be relevant to them. If they love dogs, you know, post on their wall some cute dog thing or quote or meme or something funny. So you just create that relationship, and you know, it's something that you want to feel organic, but if it becomes unnatural to you, then it might be something that you want to schedule in, that on specific days and with these specific people you want to check in with. You just want to make sure that you are constantly creating that relationship with them, so that when they do have a change of heart for buying or hosting or joining, that again, you are top of mind. Okay, now one thing that you can do, I know a lot of you are going to have the question like, well, I can create this relationship with people, but how do I meet people to create a relationship with? It's a really good question. And one of the greatest tips is to think of all those things that make you unique, like your idiosyncrasies, the organizations you are involved in, the hobbies that you love. If you are a huge Harry Potter fan, or you have a rare breed of dog, or you have a gluten allergy, or you've had problems with infertility, any of those things can give you access to a group of women or men, if you're a man watching this, that really have kind of a connection already. And so that connection already can give you a great kind of in together. And so what you can do is you join these groups, and then you can ask just a really general question, something like, hey, thanks for the ad. Where is everybody from? Somebody might say, oh, I am from Nashville. Oh, really? I'm going to Nashville in July for our Scentsy convention. That's really awesome. And then you say, let me friend request you. I'd love to ask you some questions about Nashville. So it's as simple as that. And then you let your strategy of consistently posting about your business in a really organic, not salesy way on Facebook work for you down the road. Okay, next we're going to talk about hostess flipping. This is one of my favorites. I have a hard time of having repeat hostesses because I flip almost every single host that I've ever had. So it's really a great way because they're already doing your job. And so it's one of the biggest fears that they have of joining is the fear of not being able to do it or failing or people not showing up. And whenever they have a party and it's successful, and you're right there, it kind of takes that fear away, and then they see, oh, well, I can do it. I did do this job, and so I could be successful at this. And sometimes you have to plant those seeds in their head because we're not all super confident people. And so sometimes we have to make sure as consultants that one of the jobs for hostess coaching is really just sharing genuine compliments and letting them know, like, wow, you're really awesome. This is one of the biggest parties that I've seen. This is the most interaction that I've seen. You have really fun friends. You have a great base of friends. This is a really great sized party. So all of those things can really help build their confidence and make them sure that they are making a good decision and for themselves. So again, we're not going to be talking about in this specific category how to do the hostess flipping because we're talking about approaching recruiting in this training. So instead, we're going to be talking about the timing. And the timing is really what it's all about. So what you want to do is you want to find the sweet spot of timing of whenever you're going to present the opportunity to them about flipping them as a host. And if you don't know, flipping the host is essentially you're doing a party together right before you put all the orders in on your workstation. You flip them and tell them you'll give them all of the orders when they sign up, and you give them their first party. So the sweet spot I often find is kind of right after the party, because I can say, oh my gosh, that party was fantastic, or whatever it is that I felt was really strong about the party. You were a natural, you did a really great job, you made my job easy, whatever it is. And at that point, it's a really nonchalant conversation. I think one of the things that we tend to do is go overboard a little bit. We kind of overpromise the moon, like, you should sign up, it will change your life. It's life-changing. You can go on these amazing trips and you can do all these amazing things. That seems really out of reach for somebody that's not kind of living in our world day to day. And so instead of focusing on that 1% that might be joining because they're ready to create a legacy for their family to hand down the Scentsy business to, instead focus on the 99% that just sign up to kind of see where it goes. Maybe they're signing up for a hobby, to pay off a couple of bills, to have some, me money, whatever that is. If you can find out that why, then you're even further ahead of the game. So find out what that why is, and then talk to that and really present the opportunity. So really how this kind of goes is just by messenger. After a Facebook party, for example, I'll say, hey, Jill, that party was amazing. You're a natural at this. You should really think about signing up. Right now is a supersized kit. And she's like, yeah, really? I don't know if I'd be really good at it. Well, actually, you did my whole job, Jill, and you kind of did better than I do, and you've got a really great base of friends. I think from all of the people that I have seen do this job, I think that you would really be good at this. I think with your base of friends and just your demeanor in your party, I think you actually could totally rock this. I think you should do it. And then she writes back, you know, one more. It's kind of like a rule. She's to like say no 3 times or something. She's really gonna say, you know, throw one more excuse out there, like I don't have time. And then you're gonna come back with that objection with all of the usual things that we say. Our best consultants are the busiest. If you want something done, ask a busy person to do it. Any of those kind of excuse busters that you want to give her on whatever objection that they give you. And then at that point, you can break down the numbers. It's one of my favorite strategies. So you say something like, okay, your party is 500. So as a consultant, I will give you all of these orders as your own. My gift to you because you did such a great job. That will get you $75 in free stuff, 4 half-off items, as well as $100 to $150 in a commission paycheck. And that's just from this party alone that you've already earned. So say yes, we'll get you signed up, we'll get you these orders, help you enter them in, and you'll be on your way. Plus, that'll already get you your first award, a shooting star, and you'll get a bracelet and a charm. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, I've already done all of these things. It's a no-brainer. And so that's the point that I want to get them at in the hostess flipping, is I want them to see like, oh, well, I mean, it really just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't I do that? Why would I say, no, I've already earned it, but I don't want the bracelet. I don't want the charm. I don't want the award. I don't want the recognition. I don't want the extra 100, 150, or that extra 50% off item, or the, you know, the accolades for doing an amazing job, you know, my first party. I don't want any of that. I think I just want to take my 3 half-offs and 75 and run. So if you can get them to that point, then you are well on your way to getting a new recruit. Okay. Next is about dyeing your hair purple. Okay, so you really don't have to dye your hair purple, although it's really fun. But there are some really great applications from the idea of dyeing your hair purple. The very first one is you want to show that you're having fun. So a lot of times people will say, I signed up because you just look like you were having so much fun in the Facebook party or the home party or in the basket party with even the, you know, information that I provide. And a lot of times I will do a video that talks to the people of the basket party. So they say it just looks like you're having fun. And so, I mean, what's this more fun than something like purple hair or a glittery vinyl shirt or something that, you know, that outwardly shows you're having fun, but really it's mostly about that personality that you have, that you shine through. So one of our core values at Scentsy is being authentic. So you can't hide behind the true you, because the people that you're going to mesh with and connect with best on your team are going to be those that connect with the real you. And so if you're normally funny and quirky and like to have a good time, make sure you show that personality in the imagery that you create for your Facebook parties and the personality that you put in your posts. Don't always just copy and paste what you see that's kind of a corporate and commercial verbiage out there. Make it your own. Okay, next is, we talked about this a little bit, but don't present this opportunity too seriously. Again, only probably less than 1% of people expect this to be something that's going to work their husband out of a job, that's going to become their family's full-time income, that's going to be something they hand down to their kids, especially whenever they first begin. So talk to those things that people really sign up for. That it's a hobby, it's paying off a bill, it's having that me time again, that is going on a trip. Find out what that is and play to that. And then lastly is one of my favorite other recruiting tips is it's figuring out ways to get people to ask you about your business opportunity. So it's a little bit of a game. Whether it's having a conversation with somebody in a restaurant, I've recruited at a hibachi grill before, whether it is having a conversation like the Pedicure Table I've recruited from, trying to think of all the recruits that I have had that have come from this specific situation, but whatever it is, you want to try to kind of use a little bit of verbal charades to figure out how you can get them to ask you about the business. So maybe you have a conversation and you're asking lots of questions. You're finding out about them, what they're doing, if they're about to go on vacation, that's why they're having a pedicure, and you can say, oh, I can't wait to go to Disney in June. I'm gonna get those same Disney ears that you've got in your toes, or whatever it is. You're gonna try to find that piece of information that you can kind of flip, and you can kind of get your business opportunity in there, because they're always gonna say, oh, really? You know, what's taking you on vacation in June? Or, oh, that sounds like fun, or whatever it is. And you can say, oh yeah, I'm going for free. Scentsy is sending me. And at that point, they're going to always be a little bit intrigued, because I think people see these ideas of trips and cars and they just think it's so out of reach. Only the top of the top company, people in the company get those. And so when they see somebody in real life, a real kind of person that has actually earned these, I think they're kind of intrigued and they want to know a little bit more. Again, in that situation, the very best thing you can do is add them on Facebook so that you can create that relationship, because you can create those micro relationships, but you can't develop the trust that sometimes it takes for them to plunge. And so you can do that with that Facebook conversation. Okay, so those are my few tips for approaching recruits. If you have any questions, please just comment below. Thank you so much for the opportunity to train you on approaching recruits, and the very best of luck, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.